In those times, although Vasishtha was the most revered of all sages, yet in the field of astrology, his knowledge was very limited. As he could not determine an auspicious moment, he could not in real terms become a guru. Once, when Vasishtha was the family guru of Lord Rama, the preparations for the coronation of Lord Rama were going on in full swing. Vasishtha too had made all arrangements for the Rajtilak, but time turned its tide and Rama was exiled for 14 years and had to take resort in a forest. Vasishtha never knew beforehand what was in store for the Lord in the future. What was the reason for this? Why could he not forecast the coming turn of events? He said, Hani Labh Jivan Maran Yash Apyash Prabhu Hath, that is, nothing is in my hands, only God holds the cards of a man's fate. If you do not have anything in your hands, said all the sages, you cannot be a guru. All the sages reproached Vasishtha, your life is incomplete. You cannot become a guru. You are nothing but an acharya, a teacher. You can only impart knowledge to your disciples. You cannot give them gurutva. You cannot give them totality. Even if one aspect of your life remains incomplete, then you too cannot attain totality. Hearing these harsh words, Vasishtha was filled with remorse and he became an ascetic once again. He lived only with his wife Katyayani and he made her his disciple by giving her Diksha. He also gave her the knowledge of Brahmatva. After that, he spent all his time in trying to acquire the complete knowledge of astrology and Kalagyan, and he presented all his thoughts, all the essence of his studies on these subjects in the text Yoga Sutra. In fact, this text was written by him in the last days of his life. The shloka given in the beginning has been taken from Yoga Sutra. In this verse, he elucidated a new fact. He said, my life in itself has been useless as I could not recognize the moments of the future. And my life is now total, as in my lost moments I have attained this knowledge perfectly by taking to ascetic life once again. Vasishtha thus became the greatest scholar and guru of Kalagyan. He was given the title of a guru and was adjudged as the greatest exponent of astrology. All the sages accepted that there had never been any sage more accomplished in Kalagyan than Vasishtha. It is explained in Yoga Sutra how the moments of time can be realized, how one can look into the past and future, and how one can harmonize these moments with one's life. In contrast, the only thing explained in Yoga Vasishtha, another of Vasishtha's texts, is how we can make our bodies healthy, enlivened and vigorous. But making the body healthy and recognizing the moments of time are two different practices. And Kalagyan, or the science of unraveling the significance of each moment of time, has been much emphasized since ages. It is said, Kalohyam Nirvida Vipulacha Lakshmi, that is, one who can read time can surely become wealthy and prosperous. It is explained in Yoga Sutra how one can develop a capability to recognize time, how one can make a right decision on time, and how one can know the future events beforehand. If God so wills, maybe someday this great text Yoga Sutra would be obtained from the realms of the universe and republished. It would no doubt prove to be the greatest book ever written. In this text, Vasishtha has said, whatever I have written in Yoga Vasishtha is insignificant. Although it is the most renowned of all books authored by me till now, it shall perish with time and it cannot become a unique text. But what I am writing now is complete in itself. I am revealing those clues with the help of which a person can achieve greatness in both aspects of life, material as well as spiritual. Through them, a person, even when living a material life, can liberate himself of his body composed of air, water, ether, earth and fire, and can thus travel through the universe. In other words, a person can travel from one place to another easily. 80% of human body is composed of water and 16.5% is earth, both of which are subject to the gravitational force of the earth. Due to this, he remains in contact with the ground, otherwise he would have been flying in air. You are able to walk on the earth only because the earth element is in such a great proportion in your body. The astronauts who have been into the space felt no gravitational pull there. When they walked into the space, they experienced that just by giving a slight push to their bodies, they were able to fly at least 50 meters through the space. There, one becomes so much liberated from the effects of the gravitational force that one can jump 80 feet without putting in much efforts. Whereas on the earth, a person cannot take such a huge leap because he is held back by the earth's gravitational pull. Whenever there is a gravitational pull, there is bound to be death. When a person becomes a poet, he becomes free from the effects of the gravitational pull. The reason is that he is no longer on this earth but keeps wandering in an imaginary world of his own. Hence he remains filled with life. A dancer while dancing jumps into the air and seems to walk on air, freeing himself from the earth's gravitational pull. Hence he too remains lively. The moment we liberate ourselves of this gravitational force, our life shall become complete. Then why don't we do so? Why do we have to remain rooted to this earth? The reason is that we are not able to sever ourselves completely from the earth. But in Yoga Sutra, it is explained how one can leave this earth and still remain alive, and we shall be able to do so when our bodies are left with only the air, ether and the fire elements. The size of the composition of these is only as much as one's thumb. These three elements together constitute the soul. Hence one cannot enter into one's soul with the help of the earth or water elements.